In this video, I'm going to be showing you some essential settings for Sellerbility. Now, there isn't very much to this. Sellerbility is very straightforward in that respect. Obviously, the main thing is linking up Sellerbility to your Amazon Seller Central account, so you just need to tap link. You will need to do this on the UK side and the US side if you happen to be selling on both marketplaces. So you need to link up to the UK side of your Amazon Seller Central and of course on the US side to the US side. Now, the main thing I'm going to be telling you about is the searches settings. Now, this does differ slightly dependent on if you are in the US side or the UK side, because obviously VAT and things like that will all work differently. You need to add in any fees that are relevant to you in your business, so prep fee and bundle fee. Now, this will be how much your prep center charges you if you're using a prep center for prep, and if it costs anything extra to do a bundle. You can add in extra fees. You can express that as a regular value or as a percentage, whatever you prefer. So if you know that, if you use a certain card or something, there's like a little surcharge or something like that happens when you buy stuff. So I don't know, whatever it is that you want to take into account as an extra fee that Sellerbility can factor into its calculations, which will obviously affect things like the profit and so forth that it's going to show. The VAT registration status, so you can set if you're non-VAT registered. If you are VAT registered, then either standard accounting, which is what most sellers end up being when they do get VAT registered, or the flat fee scheme. So it depends what scheme you're on. Not applicable won't really be an option for you guys in the UK, because obviously it will be you're non-VAT registered or you are. There's not applicable. Not really anyway. This is only really usable if you want to have everything worked out without factoring in VAT. Okay, so it's dependent on what you want to do. If we say set standard, then we have this grocery VAT pop up, so we can toggle on if we want Sellerbility to consider grocery VAT, because with grocery items you will have grocery items that are 0% VAT rated, and you'll have grocery items that are varying amounts, but obviously the standard in the UK is 20. So for any grocery items, do you want Sellerbility to consider the 20% or not? So I would always say yes to have it on personally, just because even if it's something that is 0% VAT rated, working out with that 20% VAT isn't exactly going to hurt. Not really, because chances are the product will be a good one anyway. I mean, I guess this is a little bit subjective, but in my view, it will be good anyway. And then obviously you'll know these things won't have that 20% on them. Okay, you'll know that they're zero. So when you come to discover that, actually it's a nice surprise, because you don't have to factor that in. That's fine, but you factored it in anyway just to be on the safe side. If you didn't have it factored in at all, and you have something that is actually VAT, like has the 20% VAT, and you don't factor that in, then it's just going to be an analysis that hasn't been properly done, and you might end up going ahead with something that ends up costing you. So it completely depends what you want to do here. Completely your choice, but obviously non-VAT registered, not applicable to you, so you don't have to worry about it. Shipping cost. Now, this can be per kilo or per pound, so it's completely up to you what it is. So this is your shipping cost to Amazon. How much does it cost you per kilo, per pound? If you don't know what to enter in here, then of course you can ask your courier. When you get charged the shipping fee, maybe by working out the weight of what you've sent and breaking it down into a per kilo, per pound. I mean, asking things like ChatGPT can help you do that. So this can be worked out, or you can ask the courier service to help you maybe. There's a few different ways that you can grab this information. Referral fee and FBA fee VAT exempt. Now, this isn't really something that you need to be toggling on anymore. So it used to be that you could apply to be VAT exempt on your FBA and referral fees, but that's not the case anymore. Amazon's changed the way that VAT is handled. So You have to factor these things in. You can't be exempt from these things anymore. However, the only cases in which you can use them is if you want to have the fees worked out VAT exempt, if you were just curious about it, if you just want to know what the straight up fees are without the VAT added on. It's purely a curiosity thing. That's why they're there. But I advise and I urge you not to turn these on to exempt, unless, of course, you're just looking out of curiosity. But don't base your analysis on those things if they are on. ROI method, you've got up to 6 ROI methods available in Sellerbility, all different sums to work out your ROI. Which one do you choose is completely up to you. You just need to choose the method that has everything in it that you want to have factored in when Sellerbility is working out your return on investment. So I tend to recommend method 4 for the UK and method 5 for the US. As you can see, it takes a lot more into account. And of course, with method 5, the reason why I say method 5 for the US is because it's all VAT exclusive, which is exactly what you want, because obviously you're not dealing with that stuff there. So it's completely up to you. It's just whatever it is that has everything you want to be factored into the sum. Method 1 is the most basic way to work out ROI. So if you're not really sure, method 1 is obviously the standard way to work out ROI. If you consistently work with a different VAT rate, not that you particularly would, because in the UK, most things are 20%, but if you happen to know you're working with a different VAT rate for things, then you can set a different VAT rate in here, and it will apply that in all of its calculations. Although, as I say, you won't really need to use this because the standard is 20%. It's up to you. As I say, like this is where Sellerbility can be quite flexible for different sellers and different needs and so forth, and it can help satisfy curiosities and things like that. So that's all you need to do. The only other thing I would say is here to set your auto delete for completed searches. Now this is how long Sellerbility is going to store completed searches. Now if you want my advice, I would say to have it maybe a week long. Okay, have it a week long. You could have it a month long. It depends really how useful you find the information to be, like how old you want the scans to be when you refer back to them. Like, do you want things from a month ago to refer back to? Because as I said in other videos, things on Amazon, things in the retail world, they change frequently. So is referring back to that information going to be useful for you? Maybe for reference, it could be useful. Maybe for looking for an older deal that might then resurface, that can work as well. If you want to maybe study how the item has moved in the space of a month, then that's a great comparison to have. For me personally, I would say to keep the searches around for a week, just to keep things fresh and that you are constantly prompted to rescan stores and categories and whatnot to ensure that you have the freshest information to work with, which is the best information to work with. So it's completely up to you. You can have 2 weeks, you can have 3 days, 5 days. If you want to keep it super fresh all the time, if you want to keep scanning without having your completed scan section filled to the brim for a long time, then 3 days might be the option for you. It's completely up to you. This is the US side. So the only thing that is different here is obviously the fact that you won't have anything VAT here. You'll have a tax override percentage. So obviously you'll know what your tax override percentage is. All you need to do is enter that amount into here, and Sellerbility will factor that into account in its calculation. So everything that you see, how it works out profit, ROI, all that stuff, the costs and so forth, it uses the stuff from here. It uses fees imported directly from Amazon and of course the prices of the products as well. So those are some essential settings to set up in order to ensure that Sellerbility is working, accounting for these things that you need as well.